into a nightclub. We're in a back corner somewhere, whatever, VIP section, right? It's a little bit more secluded, maybe. Couple of tables, whatever. There's a very obvious, let's call it 6'2", post-op, fully committed transvestite, whatever. I don't know what all the different terms are for all the different things, but born a dude, identifies as a woman, has gone through, gotten everything lopped off, has implants to look like a woman, but is obviously a 6'2", 220-pound man, or used to be, right? Mm-hmm. Identifies as a woman. We're chilling at a table. We're sipping on something. And you see this, I'm going to call it a person, right? I'm going to call it person B. Okay? Person B, being the post-op, getting into a dispute with person A, who is a female, born a female, identifies as a female, weighs about 120 pounds. So person B has 100 pounds on this female, gets upset. One of the two throws a drink in the other one's face, whatever it may be, and person B reaches back and slaps the living Jesus out of person A. 100 pounds extra. And you and I are watching this. We know person A, 120-pound female, is about to get destroyed. What do? Yeah. Do we have... You get... Yes.
That's as simple as that. No, and the thing about it, not necessarily to fuck person B up.
No.
Not necessarily. But I will separate because I know that I can do that. And I will do that. And if you get in my face now and you put hands on me, I'm going to handle you. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? You should, but the fact that there's other people, I'm not saying dudes or whatever, because if there's two females kind of scrapping, I'm like, hey, chill out. You know, like I would prefer the peace before it gets escalated. And granted, it has been escalated, but if we can stomp it out like quickly, and I'm talking stomp it out in terms of like the violence, right? Just squash that. I would prefer that. But if you get in my face,
yeah,
and I'm telling you, like, hey, like I need you to chill. Like I hear you. You start taking swings at me, and I'm registering what I'm registering in terms of 228 pounds. You were born, you came into this world something else, and you think that you're going to do that to me. You have another thing coming.
Right.
Because I'm going to, now you talk about instinctual, right? My thing is, I want her, she needs to be, not necessarily rescued, but she needs to be assisted. You know what I'm saying? If I see any female out there getting done like that in public, I'm gonna be like, granted, I hate inserting myself in other people's business, especially if it's a couple or something like that. That's just not. I'm not the dude that runs around saving folks all day. It's just not my style.
True.
You know? I'm just kind of like, you know what? I don't know what's going on in that, and I think you guys should work it out. Now, if you're disturbing my peace, I might say, hey, like, go home or go take that somewhere else, something like that. But if she's like, yo, like, I need help, then I feel borderline obligated to now have to insert myself. And just, once again, hopefully you guys can calm down and talk reasonably with one another. We've been in a situation like that before in the past where two people get each other's face and we had to separate the two. Mm-hmm. There was no violence, right? But now with there's strength in numbers, whether, we can come to whoever's aid, doesn't matter, male, female, but like other people's being inserted now, kind of like people become more cautious, conscious of what's going on. And they're like, okay, you know what? Like, this is no longer between she and I. We got other people now that are in our business. So no, for me, I'm going to defend her because whatever the situation is, she's going to possibly get murdered by this individual if they're going to go all in on her. Especially like I said, if we're going to brawl like that, like, then you just can't do that.
So here's what I think is fucked up. Because we could be the good Samaritans all day long. Unfortunately, as we just discussed, when things are caught on camera, we could intervene. And this could be a 220-pound man, whooping up on his girlfriend, whatever. You get involved, he turns on us, you beat the shit out of him, because, whatever, he put hands on you first. Like, it really comes down to honestly, at that point, it'll come down to the courts, because people are going to be like, oh, why did you get involved? It's like, people are borderline, I think, afraid to get involved because they're afraid that they're going to catch more, put on charges, get more ridicule and stuff like that. Well, it wasn't your place. It wasn't my place to keep him from beating the shit out of someone else, or keep person B, from the story earlier, from beating the shit out of person A. Like, I didn't put hands on a woman. Yes, I did. Actually, you know what? I walked up behind him. I wrapped him up, pulled him away from each other. Security's on the other side of the club or whatever else. Or maybe it's not a club. Maybe there is no in-house security. Maybe you're just out in public somewhere and you got to wait on the cops to show up. Someone needs to stop that current violent interaction. Period. Fucking dot. Like, that's it. It has to be stopped, whatever it is. And if you're going in with the intention, mind you, people don't understand that word. People don't like to look at the intent. They like to look at the dramatic appeal that the media can bite off of and make anybody look bad, which is bullshit. I mean, if you and I are out and we pull person B off of person A, they're going to go, oh, there's these two white, one black heterosexual males that clearly are homophobic. And so they beat up this, post-op transvestite in a nightclub. No, we pulled the transvestite person off of this little female that they were having a spat with, because first of all, nothing should ever get violent. It just shouldn't. Physical violence is not needed. That's my stance. Like, I think if you can't talk it out, fucking go your separate ways, because getting physical, all it does is it proves an immediate dominance in the moment and a long-term ignorance. Because you ran out of words to say, and so you resorted to a more animalistic form of, well, let's sort this out to prove who I am over you. Now, that being said, there are certain situations that we have both been privy to where things need to happen. There's a pecking order, and maybe it went there, and it was what it was, and it got handled in-house. There was no cops, there was no security, there was no social media or whatever else involved. And if that kind of thing happens and you come out of it, if you and I, God forbid, ever went, blow for blow, like, fuck you, no, fuck you, over some stupid shit, I guarantee the next day we'd pour each other a whiskey and be like, that was fucking dumb. Yeah. Right? Didn't need to go there. But we went there. Doesn't mean we can't move on from it. Hopefully we can grow from it, I guess is my point. But it doesn't need to go that far.
It's tough, man. When you got emotions going crazy and people aren't thinking straight, and people want to prove that point, right? I mean, if I'm seeing red and I'm like in straight battle mode, I'm not trying to hear reason at this point. I just want to inflict some type of damage, whether it be physical, mental, whatever. Like, I'm just trying to, I need you to hear me on every level, but it's tough, man. It's tough when it comes to all that. Like, it's human nature, I think, to be like that. You're talking, we live in this very domesticated world, especially when, it's just like, I think there's a lot of pent up anger in folks anyway. You can't really express yourself sometimes just because you have to be like, everyone's playing this disciplined game. Everyone's having to watch their mouth. Don't say that. Well, I didn't know I couldn't say that. And now you're just like, okay, well, what do I say? Now you're spending more time being frustrated in terms of what words can be used out here in the world, because maybe you didn't know, or whatever the case might be, that the English language is being chopped. It's getting smaller, where we have to front like we're nice to everybody. And that's just not the reality at all.
Look at it on a worldview. I'll define it like this, not to cut you off. I'm sorry, but when diplomacy ends, war begins.